group. So I do have a funny story to tell you about something from this morning. I heard you this morning talking about bugs.
Uh-huh.
And I one day years ago, I had down south here, I don't know if you know about them, we have palmetto bugs.
Yes.
They're roaches about this big and some of them fly. And we had a bunch of them because they live in the trees and we're surrounded by trees here. And I was like, why? Why do these exist? And I actually went on Google and I said, what good are roaches? And it came back with an answer that said, if it weren't for roaches, the world would be buried under feces
Yes. We would be
and
bigger.
buried. And I'm like, see that? You never know what what would happen if the thing that you hate no longer existed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what that idea of the butterfly effect,
Hmm.
that you lose one, it changes everything. And yeah,
Right,
flies, why flies? Well, because if a thing dies in the wild, uh maggots are part of the way that
right.
it gets broken down. And
Hmm.
we even learned during, and this is probably kind of gross, but it absolutely is true, and it actually is, I think, still done today, that if you had like a wound and it had necrotic, it had gone necrotic, the flesh was dying, they would put what they call them sterile maggots, basically,
Right.
that
Hmm.
had that didn't have any, they were, lab whatever, and they put them on there and they would eat away the dead. They don't eat the living flesh, they only eat the dead flesh. And so
Yeah.
they use them to clean wounds, and I believe they still do, in some severe cases. So yeah, this thing that is a pest to me. I still haven't figured out the mosquito thing, but I think it's funny. What was it? What was it where the aliens came to Earth and believed that mosquitoes were the prime living being on the planet, because even the humans who appeared to be, whatever, they were just food for the
For
mosquitoes, or
mosquitoes.
anyway. So, and it took them a while, the aliens, to figure out that mosquitoes were not the prime, of course, according to us, but according to mosquitoes, I'm sure they are the only reason we're here. So you're here for food, and I love it. Oh
Oh
my gosh.
boy.
So Sharon is having her internet
I'm
operate.
back. I'm back. He just left.
Oh, yay, yay, yay.
He
Sharon,
just left.
I also have a suggestion for you.
What's that?
Um, Next time you're not on Zoom here, uninstall Zoom and install it again. You might have either a corrupted or out of date version of Zoom, and that's
Oh
why
no,
you
this was from the television. We had a storm here.
because you said you can't get your camera to work.
Oh, my camera. No, my camera has like a thing. Oh, that's a good idea, Mickey. Yeah, I'll do that. That's a
Try that.
great idea. Okay, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, right.
Love
That's the whole
that.
different thing. So you knew that too. All right, because it was a crazy morning. I started with Lynn, and then I had somebody come for what, 3 hours. So
Yeah.
That's
No,
amazing.
I was
Yeah.
listening early this morning and I heard you talking about not being able to get your camera to work.
yeah, I don't have. Yeah, okay, that's a great idea. I didn't know what you meant, but now I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, well, good. So before we get to the reading, so Mickey, I was going to ask you how's the vision? Still
It
kind
is it's funky. It's a little funky. It's not as bad as it was, but it's still pretty fun. Like, things are sparkly
yeah.
and
Well,
stuff. And
that, hey, things are sparkly. Maybe
things are
because you
sparkly.
don't even
Maybe
know what
that's supposed
anything
to
is.
be.
Yeah. Yeah,
Am I sparkling to you?
You're
Oh, thank
sparkling,
you.
Raph.
Nobody's ever said
Absolutely.
that to me before. Thank you.
I like that. That's a great, well, thank you.
It only yeah, it's delightful, but it makes reading a little challenging.
Yeah, I hear you there. So
Yeah.
that's okay because we're here and I'm going to go ahead and get our reading up. And oh, what am I
I
doing?
have though developed a new awareness of acceptance with it. So that's, there are upsides to everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, my son and I were talking the other day. I'm blind in this eye completely. I don't have there's nothing there at all. And then this eye, I have, problems is and they may be similar problems to what you're having because, just things appear and I have a floater in there that is like I call it the octopus because it's like it has like legs that are there and sometimes that'll get right in my field of vision and I can't see a dang thing, so because it does move around. um, but then I have other little garbage that floats around in there as well. So I told you I have that little round. It's so cool when it comes up. I'm like, oh, there it is. So funny. I mean, but it's just like it's a little really black circle that's clear in the middle. So it's like a bubble or something. It's very cool.
Mhm.
Anyway, those things that come up and I just kind of learned to see around them because that's otherwise things don't work at all. But I also noticed that, and this could be with you too as well. I'm an intuitive reader, so my mind will fill in the blanks. If I can't see the whole word, my mind will fill in the blanks. So I kind of know, and I'm good at like word puzzles and stuff because of that, because I can look at a bunch of jumbled letters and turn them into a sentence, or figure out what they're saying. So anyway, but that's something that uh, has actually uh, happened or improved since I've been having vision problems. So like my mind, your mind, you're making up for the things that seem to be missing, I guess. So don't be surprised if someday you're looking and going, wow, huh? I didn't know that I could see that. So all right. So welcome everybody. We are live on YouTube. We're live streaming, and we are reading chapter 15 from A Course in Miracles, the Holy Instant and Special Relationships. And I'm not sure if this is where we were, and I don't really care because this is where I'm going to start. And so thank y'all for being here with us. Hi, Karen. So, uh, uh, but I think it's really important. I mean, this is like good news, important stuff for us to see and understand. So I'm wondering if anybody would like to read paragraph 5. I also like it because it's 1555. So 555. There's that 555 again. Anyway, who'd like to read paragraph 5?
I'll take it.
Thank you, Rafi.
The Holy Spirit knows no one is special, yet he also perceives that you have made special relationships which he would purify and not let you destroy. However unholy the reason you made them may be, he can translate them into holiness by removing as much fear as you will let him. You can place any relationship under his care and be sure that he will not result in pain. It will not result in pain. If you offer him your willingness to have it serve no need but his, all the guilt in it arises from your use of it, all the love from his. Do not then be afraid to let go your imagined needs, which would destroy the relationship. You only need his. And if you replace he with I or I am, it's all the same. Wow. because
Do you want to reread that with I?
you can't be separate from the Holy Spirit. We are that. Wow, this is a great paragraph.
So yeah, could you do that for us? Reread it and replace he with I,
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
or you with I.
Okay.
Yeah, you with I. Yeah.
The Holy Spirit knows no one is special. Yet I am also perceives that you have made special relationships which I am would purify and not let you destroy. However unholy the reason you made them may be, I am can translate them into holiness by removing as much fear as you will let I am. You can place any relationship under I am care and be sure that it will not result in pain if you offer I am your willingness to have it serve no need but I am. All the guilt in it rises from your use of it, all the love from I am. Do not then be afraid to let go your imagined needs, which would destroy the relationship. Your only need is I am.
That was awesome, Rafi. Thanks so much. That was very cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And also, if you can read this, do the same thing and replace you with I. So I am knows that no one is special. Yet I am also perceives that what I have made special relationships, which I am would purify and not let me destroy. However unholy the reason I made them, however unholy the reason I made them, I am can translate them into holiness by removing as much fear as I will let him. I can place any relationship under I am's care and be sure that it will not result in pain. If I offer I am my willingness to have it serve no need but I am. All the guilt in it arises from my use of it, all the love from I am. Do not then be afraid to let my imagined needs, which would destroy the relationship, to let go my imagined needs, which would destroy the relationship. My only need is I am.
That's very powerful.
Very powerful, very powerful. And so we were talking about the Holy Spirit, which was mentioned last night in the meeting about A Course of Love, and I'll just reiterate it for those who weren't there, because A Course of Love says the time of the Holy Spirit is over. And for us who are looking at this, going, the Holy Spirit's my best friend. But if I replace the Holy Spirit with the I am, I recognize the Holy Spirit was here, is just what I am pretending to be. What I am is pretending not to be the Holy Spirit. But the Holy Spirit is the other part of me. It's when the split happened, the ego, came out and made, this world, but the part of me that is one with God, which is the Holy Spirit, remained. And so we call it the Holy Spirit, and it seems like it's something outside of us. But if you look at it and you call it I am, and it's all about I am what I am, then it makes sense that why would I need to depend on something I perceive as outside of myself when there is nothing outside of me? It has to be what I am. Dove, please go ahead.
Can I ask Rafi if he could reread it and replace it with "we are"?
Ooh,
Okay.
I'm a like in this direction.
The Holy Spirit knows
We are.
We are is not special. Yet I am also perceives that I have made special relationships which I am would purify and not let I destroy. However unholy the reason I made them may be, I am can translate them into holiness by removing as much fear as I will let him. I will let I am. I can place any relationship under I am care and be sure that it will not result in pain. If I offer I am my willingness to have it serve no need but I am, all the guilt in it arises from from my use of it. All the love from I am. Do not then be afraid. I will not then be afraid to let go of my imagined needs, which would destroy the relationship. My only need is I am.
Mhm. Okay. Maybe I can read it.
Well, was that what you meant? I hope I got it right.
No. Instead of using I am, use we are.
Oh, I
That's
misunderstood you. Okay, go ahead, read it. You read it, and let me see if I can get clearer.
Okay. The Holy Spirit knows that we are believing in specialness, yet He also perceives we that we made special relationships which He would purify and not let us destroy. However unholy the reason we made them may be, He can translate them into holiness by removing as much fear as we will let Him. You can place any relationship under His care and be sure that it will not result in pain if we offer Him our willingness to have it serve no need but His. All the guilt in it arises from our use of it, all the love from His. Do not then be afraid to let our imagined needs. I love the word imagine because I'm beginning to recognize that imagine, which I think is used 57 times in the course, is really another word for awareness. We let our imagined needs, which would destroy the relationship, only our need is His. Only our need is His need. That's it.
The more we go over this, the more it solidifies the reality of oneness
yeah, absolutely.
for me.
I love that. It's, it really brings it home to me in a much more personal and uh, I don't know, intelligent way. I love it. So thank you guys. So yeah, the Holy Spirit knows that we're all the same, but also recognizes that I've made some special relationships, and because of the love that is the basis of those special relationships, because only the love is real. That Holy Spirit, what I am, would purify it and not allow it to be destroyed. I would not destroy it, I would purify it. I would not destroy it, I would purify it. So however unholy the reason that I made them, maybe I saw somebody that was very attractive to me, and I wanted to have a relationship with them, sexual or emotional or something. And so, I seek them out and I join with them, and in that joining, we have, a relationship that is obviously not going to be um, very helpful or long lasting if that's the basis of it. I may find more things that I want to hang on to them for, but for the most part, we develop a relationship because we find something useful in another person or something that we feel attracted to. and want to be connected to. So those are all based on a judgment. They're based on an evaluation, saying if this is a valuable thing that I want. What a handsome guy. Won't I look great riding down the street in my Ferrari with this handsome young man, or whatever? Won't it be great to be in bed with this handsome young guy or girl, or whatever happens to be? These are all the ego's reasons for having these unholy relationships. But what I am can translate them into holiness by removing the fear from them. And the fear, we think the Holy Spirit can remove the fear, but the Holy Spirit can't take away anything that I don't give them. So it's I who have to decide what is the value of this relationship, what is the value of this thing. And perhaps you do have a relationship that does become holy because it is being uh, for the purpose of love and not utility. And so once you take all the usefulness out of the relationship and you become useless to each other, if you're still there loving each other because you find them just so wonderful and you love them unconditionally, whether they're useful or not, then that is heading more toward the holy relationship. And you see it all the time where people do, the partner gets dementia, Alzheimer's, and the husband or wife stays with them and goes and sees them, and people say, well, how come you go and see them all the time? They don't remember who you are. And they say, yes, but I remember who they are. I remember them. I know who they are. These are the holy relationships that come about by letting go of the idea that there has to be something of value, use coming out of a relationship. So if I just replace all those relationships, and I do agree, it's my choice every single time. We use these ideas in the course of Jesus and the Holy Spirit. We use them as placeholders until we recognize that we are that. I am that. And it's interesting. I was listening to Dr. Sarno just a little bit ago, and he actually used the terms the decision maker, the decision making mind. That's who is the one who's making the choice of whether uh, to look past all of the grievances and see only the love, because only the love is the only thing that exists. And uh, all the guilt arises from your use of it, and all the love from his. So that's when we stop. If we stop making people useful to us and just love them as they are for the being that they are. And yes, we may have lots of memories, but those memories are not real any more than any other part of the dream. It's all still the dream. So, in this dream world, we have a lot of purposes that we use people for that do bring about a feeling of guilt, an experience of guilt, because we're not using them for the purpose that they're here for, to be loved unconditionally. But when we choose to let go of that decision, to use people and rather just to love them unconditionally, then that brings about the holy relationship. Anybody else have any thoughts about this? And thank you for the hearts, Karen. Yes, please go ahead, Karen.
Yeah, well said. Very well said. Thanks, everybody. And this is really a beautiful paragraph. And yeah, this is what that we're reminded of over and over again, that this is what our special function is. The special function is to allow the Holy Spirit to remove the blocks to love's presence, so every special relationship can become a holy relationship. And he uses what we made to harm to heal. He heals whatever we use to harm, which always, as you said, then comes from fear. But the removal of the blocks is actually mentioned in our introduction to the lessons, which I love this introduction to the lessons, 181 to 200. And he says that our lessons now are geared specifically to widening horizons and direct approaches to the special blocks that keep your vision narrow and too limited to let you see the value of our goal. We are attempting now to lift these blocks, however brief. Words alone cannot convey the sense of liberation which their lifting brings, but the experience of freedom and of peace that comes as you give up your tight control, as Rafi always talks about, giving up your tight control of what you see speaks for itself. Your motivation will be so intensified that words become of little consequence. You will be sure of what you want and what is valueless. So we're being reminded here that these lessons, we started out yesterday with, I trust my brother who is one with me. Today I will be still in an instant and go home, has little use of words. It's going within and allowing the Holy Spirit to remove these blocks that keep our vision narrow, that keep us judging, that keep us still seeing separation and still seeing differences, when the Holy Spirit sees everyone the same and knows no one is special, and he does perceive that we made special relationships, and his kind perception heals them and he purifies them by helping us to remove those blocks. And it's just so beautiful. I'm just so grateful that this is such a holographic course. You can just use one paragraph and it's the entire course. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Karen, and thank you for reading that too, because yes, these lessons are phenomenal as far as removing the blocks, as I mentioned yesterday on a couple of occasions. That lesson 181 is my favorite lesson because it is the one that actually, when I started reading it, it pointed out to me why it was that I feel so I was feeling so disconnected um, from the from God and from my brother, and of course, a lot of time has passed since then. That was back when I was still dealing with, and I say that loosely, Teddy, and the arguments that we would get into were just horrific sometimes, and you cannot believe it, arguing as we did. And it's so much that Vicky, who had no idea who I was, when she first met me, she goes, "Oh, you're the Lynn that Teddy's in the garage yelling at all the time." I'm like, yes, that is me. My special function is to be here, and my special relationship with Teddy is to be in arguments. But then I trust my brother, who's one with me, came to me, and I recognized that he and I were the same, and we were on the same side, the same team, doing the same thing, wanting the same thing, and yet, arguing over just, silly BS. And after, I studied that and actually did a sermon on that with Teddy as my reader. And I had Teddy read lesson 181. And then we talked about how it is that you can change your relationship, because that's what we're talking about here, a shift in the relationship from that of fear and anger to one of trust and love. And that we healed our relationship. It was pretty crazy because I could never have imagined it. But we became very, very, I think, very close. Um, and towards the end with his life, you know, you couldn't have found a sweeter man in the world. You couldn't have found a more gentle being. It was just what a shift. Anyway, Dove, you had your hand up. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to read. I put it in the chat. There's this paragraph in the course. It says the same thing, but it actually goes deeper in a way. It says, if you perceive the special relationship as a triumph over God, would you still want it? He's laughing. Let us not think of its fearful nature, nor of the guilt it must entail, nor of the sadness and the loneliness. So he's really saying the special relationship is the ego's belief that it has won over God.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dove. And yeah, that's it exactly. That the special relationship is a kingdom that it's built of insanity. And it's all on conditions of things. Rafi, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just ran over 3 or 4 incidences that happened when I was a child that I realized now. I've forgotten all about them, but they just come up now. And I realized I was feeling guilty about all of them. And then it hit me, but that was all ego mind stuff. It had nothing to do with what I really am. And now they're just pictures. That's all memories are, just pictures. If you want to attach, if I wanted to attach feelings to them, well, feelings aren't facts. Just let the feelings go. And everything got so simplified. That was ego mind. What the heck did it have to do with what the truth of what I really am? And it was so easy then to let all of that to just dissolve and let go of the feelings and get back to the peace that we truly are. Well, what a beautiful little thing. Wow, what a great morning this is.
Thank you, Rafi. Yeah. Wow. I love that. It's just, this is what we're here for. To me, this is a healing session. Whenever we join together, it is a healing session, because we're all determined to see. And that determination to see, the determination to see differently, all those things, that's our motivation for being here. So I appreciate so much everyone who decides to join and work through this with us. Anybody else have any comments on this paragraph?
Just one little follow up on this. Both Lester Levinson and Robert Adams said the same thing. He said, "This mind is just a garbage pail full of stuff." He said, "Turn the garbage pail upside down and empty it out." And this paragraph was a great way to remind me of that. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, thank you for that, Rafi. Uh, oh gosh, yeah. So, and yeah, you reminded me of the little story I told earlier. I don't know if you heard it, that I had this little mouse that came into my office. It would come up here and it would look at me, and I would put like a little piece of cracker or bread down, and it would take it and run off. And I knew where it was, and I knew, it's just like, little mouse. He shouldn't be in here, but here he is. I shouldn't be building a house on top of his home, or he wouldn't have a place to go. But anyway, so the little mouse would go into my trash can, which I, have here. and look around for things. And so one day it was time for the trash to go out. So I took the bag out and didn't replace the bag right away. I came in the next morning and I heard this rustling around, and I look, and inside of my trash can, which is very deep for a tiny little mouse, was two little mice, two of them. There was two, and so it wasn't the same one every time. And they were like, they had gone into the trash can, obviously looking for something, but there's nothing, no way for them to get out. They couldn't jump out, they couldn't crawl out, whatever. So I just I picked up the trash can. They were terrified. I tried to talk to them, took them downstairs, opened the front door, took them out on the lawn and tipped them out onto the lawn, and they ran away. They're like, oh, you know where is this? This place is all new. But that's it. I emptied the trash can and they all ran scurrying out. And that's what your thing just reminded me of. And it is, we can do that with everything. If you really want to get rid of it, it may not just take throwing away the bag, because there's still residual. There's still a couple of little mouse that live in here, but they're gone now. They did not come back as far as I could tell. Karen, yeah, please go ahead.
Well, that's great, Lynn. And thank you, Rafi. Thank you, Dove. Yeah, this paragraph is really reminding me. The Holy Spirit knows no one is special. And, it's really, this course has really helped me recognize that truly. And by that, I mean that really seeing that we are all equal here. No one is special. No one is better than. No one is above. We might see things differently. We might have different ideas. We might have different beliefs, different ways of whatever we do, practicing the course, and that's perfectly fine. It's an individualized path that's perfect for everyone. They all lead to God. And our worth is established by God. It's not established by teaching or learning, and it's not established by anything in this world. And so I just really love to be reminded of this, because the Holy Spirit knows no one is special, yet he also perceives that you have made special relationships, which he would purify and not let you destroy. So he purifies them by removing the fear, as you said, and seeing that there is nothing to fear, that it's all made up. It's these thoughts that I made up that aren't my real thoughts. They're not the truth. And removing those blocks, there's unhealed, thoughts, there's unhealed conditioned beliefs. There's nothing but love. I mean, he's telling us here. It's like his use of it will only result in love. There's only love. That's all there is. And it's only the imagined needs which destroy the relationship. Those imagined needs are all those, I don't want to say the word, I was going to use a bad word, but those ridiculous thoughts that aren't the real thoughts. So I'm just saying this because I am grateful that I really had this awakening recently, because I know intellectually that only equals are at peace. I know intellectually that I and my Father are one, and all of this at the course. But as soon as I think someone's better than me, I don't believe it. That's not true. I'm lying, you know? So you can say it intellectually, but to really feel it and experience it is the truth. So I just feel so grateful for that, and so grateful that we're continually being reminded that no one is special. Either we're all special or no one is special. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Karen. And I prefer to think that everyone is special, and not that that's what I prefer. I just want to see everyone as being far beyond how they appear. And I mean, that's what Jesus calls true charity, or real charity, is looking at our brother and seeing that they are farther along, than they appear to be. And when you can do that and recognize that everyone is uh, everyone is the Holy Son of God. I am as God created me, and nothing can change that. So everyone is the same thing, and the only difference is that some know and others don't. Some people think that they're one thing, other people think they're something else. But the truth is, we are what we are. That's the only thing that we can be. And so uh, the only thing that is making it seem different are our thoughts about it. And so when I recognize that those thoughts have no meaning, absolutely, they are absolutely the stories of madmen built up over thousands of years of story, which was all in the dream, all part of the same illusion, the tiny mad idea. All of them are here. I can't come up with a single thought that's new. It's all been invented long ago. So, this is the thing. Those are not my thoughts. Those are not thoughts that God would have me think. Those are not God's thoughts, God's things. So, what are God's thoughts? Well, if I just stop and listen, I will hear God's thoughts. And God's thoughts are nothing but love. And I will experience God in that love as well. And the key to me to all of that is the relationship. So this is it. When I look at the brother and recognize that, he's one with me, and then he's on the same path as I am, he's going the same place. He may be stumbling, he may be having some problems, he may need some help. I may be stumbling, I may be having problems, I may need help. He's there for me, I'm there for him, we're there for each other. And when we get rid of all these blocks to the awareness of our love, then we will see that all the love is there. And I can walk hand in hand with this stranger in total trust and joy because I trust my brother who's one with me. And that is the only relationship that I need. And it's so simple. It's just giving up the story. So does anybody else have anything on this paragraph? We're almost at the end of our hour, but that's okay. And Wayne will be coming in here pretty soon, and he'll be doing um, the ACIM Lounge throwback. So I'm looking forward to that. So how about, does anybody want to read paragraph 6? We'll just read through this and we'll pick it up again next week if anyone would like to read it. All right, I will read it. Okay. Any relationship you would substitute for another has not been offered to the Holy Spirit for his use. There is no substitute for love. If you would attempt to substitute one aspect of love for another, you have placed less value on one and more on the other. You have not only separated them, but you have also judged against both. You evaluated both of them and said, this is what I aspire to, and this not so much. This is what I like, and this not so much. We've already done that. So attempting to substitute one aspect of love for another. So, yeah, he loves me. He's going to stay with me forever. She is a fickle person and not a good friend. This person I'm going to, cherish and love. This person I'm going to kind of ignore and try to avoid. That those are conditions. And you could say, well, don't you love her? Well, yeah, I love her, but I love her butt. Anyway, I love her, although she may have some faults and she may do this and she may do that. So these are uh, the way that uh, we evaluate love. You know, if you really loved me, you would never bring that up again. If you really loved me, you would have called me on my birthday. You really love me. You send me flowers and call me every day. I'm getting tired of you loving me because my house is full of flowers now. But whatever it is, these are judgments, the ideas that we have placed value on. So, if you would attempt to substitute one aspect of love for another, you have placed less value on one and more on the other. You have not only separated them, but you have also judged against both. Yet you had judged against yourself first, or you would never have imagined that you needed your brothers as they were not. Unless you had seen yourself as without love, you could not have judged them so like you in lack. So there it is whatever I'm seeing in myself, I'm seeing in my brother. On the other hand, whatever I'm seeing in my brother, I'm seeing it in myself. This is a reciprocal rule of reality. What I get, I receive. What I give, I receive. Giving and receiving are the same. So if I'm seeing my brother and saying, you know, he is a jerk and I don't like him, then I've already looked at myself and said, I recognize what a jerk is because I do it too. And this is part of my persona as well. So if I look at my brother and say, what a loving and kind person, this is the saint of the world, I can recognize that because I myself see the saintliness of myself. I see the loveliness of myself. And when I see the loveliness of myself, it's very easy to see it in another. When I see my brother as in judgment, I'm going to judge myself. It's just as simple as that. Anybody have anything to say? I see Reb Wayne, welcome in the room. Uh, Anybody have anything like they'd like to share in our last minute? Yep, Dove says simplicity. It is so simple. All right. So thank you all for being with us today. I really appreciate you hanging out and